If you need a quick last-minute gift that feels handmade and thoughtful, grab your yarn and hook because today I'm showing you how to crochet a super cute bath scrubby from start to finish in under an hour. Hi, it's Christa at the Secret Yarnery, and in this video I'm going to walk you through step-by-step through my easy bath scrubby pattern in 2 sizes, plus I'll be sharing simple tips to make it look polished enough for gifting. To make your easy DIY bath scrubby, you're going to need yarn. I'm just using regular scrubby yarn. It's really thin, so I'm just going to show you how to triple it up, and we're going to be using an 8mm crochet hook. It goes super fast. And you'll also need a needle just for threading it together, not sewing in your ends. We have no ends to sew in, and a pair of scissors. So to make one large size, it's 50 grams. So 50 grams makes one large bath scrubby. And if you want to make a smaller size, you can get 2 smaller ones from the same size yarn. So 25 grams for a small scrubby. Here are the timestamps. You can jump back into where you left off. And let's get started. So we're going to start by tripling up our scrubby yarn. So just lay it out with your tail over here. Hold it down and just bring back a loop like this. So we have our 3 strands together, and we're just going to pinch our end with the tail and use that as our yarn. So just using 3 strands at a time. We want to leave about a 4-inch tail, just long enough where we can knot it later. The good thing about this pattern is there is no ends to sew in. And we're just going to make a slip knot with all 3 strands. Shrink that down and pop it onto your hook. And now we're just going to chain our entire ball of yarn for a large scrubby, or 50 grams, or 25 grams for a medium or small size scrubby. And before you get to that loop, we just want to put our finger and thumb through that loop and grab more of your working yarn and just pull more through. And then you can kind of smooth it out. And there's more of your tripled yarn. And then just keep going. So half a ball or 25 grams for a small size, or your whole ball for a large size scrubby. So pause the video and just keep chaining along until you've crocheted up half of your ball, 25 grams, or your full ball, which is 50 grams. So when you've chained up half of your ball of yarn or your full ball of yarn, just make one more chain and pull that the last 3 strands through. So this is half a ball, 25 grams, and this is a full ball, so it kind of gives you an idea of how big and luscious that scrubby is going to be. So depending what you want to do, small size, large size, depending how much yarn you have or how many gifts you have to make. Now we are ready to turn them into scrubbies. So grab about 4 feet of yarn folded in half, and this is going to be the hanging loop for our scrubby. I'm using size 4 worsted weight acrylic because I can really pull it. I'm using 2 strands also, so I can really pull it to shrink our scrubby together, and it'll be nice and durable. You could use cotton, but I worry that it will snap while we're pulling all of this together. So go ahead and thread your tails onto a yarn needle. So go ahead and thread those tails onto a yarn needle. We want the loop end opposite of the needle end. So we have a needle and then we have the loop on the other side right there. And now we're ready to start. There's 2 different ways of doing it, or 2 different stitch counts. I'm going to start with the small one and then I'm going to show you the large one. So go ahead and find one end of your chain. It doesn't matter which one, if it's the beginning or the end, and you want to find a loop. You can either go through, it's a bit hard to see your stitches, or maybe it's easier for you. You can see your pretty little V's. If you're going on the V side, just pick one side and just count those loops. If you're going on the back, you can count your camel bumps. whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter. Just find one way of looking at your chain and just keep using that for your guideline. For me, I'm going into my back loops, and I'm going to go into the very first back loop, which is right here. And I want to pull up my yarn, but I don't want to pull it all the way through. I want to leave this loop on the other side. We don't want to lose it. And now I want to count 10. So I'm going to count 10 of these back loops, or 10 of your chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm just going to slide that, all 3 strands of that back loop, or the loop of your chain, onto your yarn, and just slide it down so it's touching like a little finger. And we want to count 10 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the same thing, we're just going to slide it over. We want the fingers on one side. We always want to keep track of that yarn in the center. It'll help us when we finish it off. Then I'll just keep going, counting 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to do this all the way along until we have threaded up at the 10th back loop of every chain of our yarn. If you are doing the full size or the large scrubby, we're going to start the same way, just into that first chain, 3 strands of that first chain, leaving our loop end sticking out. And now instead of counting 10, we're going to count 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And we're going to do 15 for the large size. So just keep going, counting 15. If you'd like to follow along with a written pattern, all of my patterns are available on my website, secretyarnery.com. And all of my patterns are written in plain English, just like I was sitting there right beside you. And then just keep going along, making loops of 15. So loops of 15 for the full size and loops of 10 for the small size. So pause the video, keep working along, and I'll meet you when you get to the end of your chain. When you have threaded up all of your loops, we're going to work also into the last loop. Doesn't matter the stitch count or how many chains it is. We're just going to go into that very last chain, just like we have been, just to cinch it down into the center, just like that. And make sure it's as not twisted as you can. And now we want to pull it together. We want this loop, our original loop of yarn, this is going to be our hanging tag. So we want to pull everything towards it until it's the length we want it to be, probably around 3 inches. You don't want it too long. So I'm just going to pull it towards that tail. About like that. And now we're going to do a hockey skate tie. So that is just like tying your shoes, except you do it one more time. So you wrap it around twice. And now when we pull it, it won't shrink back, well, when we let go. And just make sure you don't have any loops underneath here, as least amount as possible. And all your tails are on the sides behaving. Everything is good. Now go ahead and pull that knot nice and snug. And because we're using this worsted weight acrylic, it's very strong and we can pull really tight. And it's also because we did that extra loop, that hockey skate tie, it doesn't slip out while we're getting the next part ready. So now we can knot it again, just regular, just one time now. Shrink it down tight. And we can knot our tails, our scrubby yarn tails. We can knot those nice and tight twice. And we can knot it also with our white yarn. If you feel like it, might as well. Everything is good and snug. And if you're finding this helpful, hit like and subscribe for more simple, gift-worthy crochet projects, and turn on the bell so you don't miss out on the next quick tutorial. Just like that. Now we have our scrubby yarn tails and our big long tail. We're not cutting our loop. Our loop is going to be our hanging tag. So just make sure everything's out of the way, and we can cut off these tails, everything but the loop. I'm leaving about a 1 centimeter tail just for safety. And there is our super easy DIY bath scrubby, perfect for last minute gifts. All you have to do is know how to chain and use some scrubby yarn, and you have an awesome handmade gift in less than an hour. And if you did the small size, that is this guy right here. It's half the size, but it's great for kids, or if you want to just do little gifts, this is also an option, half the size or half the yarn. And then, of course, the full size. So this is 50 grams, and this is 25 grams. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I did. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more fast and easy DIY tutorials. And I'm waiting for you in that video up there. Stay hooked.